Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saka here, and welcome to Talladega Superspeedway, a 2.66 mile tri-oval. Once again, Brandon is over there in the Napa 24, and we are ready to race in the last race in this segment. In the real world, the cutoff would be after this race. Next year, when we race for points, this race will matter much more than it does here. But definitely excited to be back to Talladega. This is one place that your teammate or a real good buddy can really help you get to the front and push. The AI isn't really known for pushing and bump drafting and just doing all the things that you need to do to be successful at Talladega, so I think Brandon and I have a little bit of an advantage here. But first things first, we're not going to count our chickens before they hatch. We have to make it to the front first. And I believe that the low line is going to be the best way to work. So once we take the green flag here, we'll try to drop to the bottom and start taking that 34 out. Well, not take him out, but give him a pass. And here we go, coming to the green. We are lined up, ready to go. And wait for it. Green flag in the air. We are full throttle. Drop the hammer, and we're ready to go. Good rolling on the high line, fourth gear before we hit turn one, and now it's just ride. Definitely not riding like in the mid 2000s where they wanted to see daylight in between the cars. We can bump draft. We're clear low. Let's get under the 43 and start our charge forward. The AI looks pretty dicey, pretty aggressive. Brandon's going to go down to the bottom, and even though 2K3 won't penalize you for going below the yellow, we're going to try to play this as legit as possible with the current rules that below the yellow line is out of bounds. If you make a pass there, you have to give the spot back or get black flag. So that's how we're going to play it. Making up a couple of spots here, and looks like the high line has stalled out. And that's what you have to really look out for at Talladega and Daytona especially, is when someone checks up in your line, you have to be ready to anticipate that, or you get an accordion effect that will take out half the field. Scraping a little bit going into turn one. Looks like we can get up to the 95. Brandon's got a good pull off of that speed stick car, and Danica Patrick is giving us all we can handle on the high line. Hopefully getting a pull off the 95 will help us clear her, and we can set our sights forward. We'll get under the 32 of Jeffrey Earnhardt. In real life, he is tasked to drive the BK racing car this weekend on the, the 25th anniversary of Dale Earnhardt's Talladega win. So pretty cool stuff indeed. Going under the speed stick car. We got good run here. Let's get under the 95. Brandon gets up above that yellow line, and we're going to just ride here. We're not going to pass yet. Really no reason to force the issue. 18 laps at Talladega is still a very long time to get things done. And if you are Earnhardt or Earnhardt-minded, you can get from the back to the front in 5 laps or so. Well, at least from 18th to 1st. Let's see if we can try to replicate that charge that he had in October 2000. We'll get under the 23 and just ride this bottom. Essentially, we are going to pass half the field for free without really working on it. Well, assuming Truex doesn't give Brandon a hard time. The car is a little light on corner exits, so you have to be ready to catch the car as it comes off that banking. And you really don't want to be out of the throttle for long. He'll go under the 6, force Trevor Bayne high. Will follow the 24 down and make a 3-wide pass, it seems. As long as Bayne doesn't. Oh, Brandon a little loose there. Looks like he scraped the bottom. And when the car scrapes, the car wants to push. The car wants to snap. It's not predictable. But we aren't going to leave our drafting buddy. We're going to stick right with him as best we can and sort of let him poke the holes and follow him through. Luckily for us, it looks like there is a little bit of 3-wide racing in front of us that will make passing those guys much easier. Looking in our mirror, we've got a tight group right behind us, and one is falling off the pace. That poor schmuck ain't going to have a chance. All right, let's get under Biffle here and then set our sights on Logano. Oh, looked like he tried to make a move. He's going to force that hole open for the 78 and the 22, and we will follow the bottom through. And looks like Dylan is up there, Keselowski is up there. We can make the pass on them, and be very careful on the exit of 2. The car will want to push up a bit, especially in the pack when you are fighting in aerotight condition, meaning the air, there's so much air buffeting around and none of it is hitting your nose, and the front tires are just sliding all over the place. Looks like we'll complete the pass on Truex here. We're on the bottom. We made 2 for 1, slicing up in front of Truex. I don't think our spotter called clear, but we got away with it, and that's what you have to do at Talladega in the later stages is don't wait for your spotter, just go with your gut. If you wait for your spotter, you're going to lose the hole that you've made for yourself. Under the 46, and Harvick under the 4. Let's see if we can get past them both. We'll probably be 3 wide on corner exit. I'll race as if we're 3 wide. No reason to really force anyone up into the high line, especially since we've got a run on the bottom line. We'll get under the 4 here. Good bite on corner number 3, and we can just keep on driving forward. He says we're 3 wide. I don't entirely believe him because we're just side by side with Hamlin there. I'm sort of looking, trying to get air on the nose. The temperatures are fine on the dashboard, running 180-degree water temperature, which is easily fine. You don't really have to worry until it gets over 240. We could stand to put a bit more tape on this, but I didn't want to adjust the default Jasper setup. Looks like Kyle is going to fill in the bottom here. We'll follow Kyle Busch then. We sort of lost touch with Brandon here, and no one seems to be helping us. Here we go. We sort of move up on Kurt. He's right up there on our fender. And we'll get right under Tony Stewart and follow Kurt Busch through, or Kyle Busch through. Now AJ tried to make a move below Newman. Tight squeeze. Oof. Car got really loose. It looks like we gave Newman a touch, but we managed to reel it back in without losing a whole lot of ground. But Newman, known for being the hardest car to pass on the track, is definitely living up to his reputation. The Snap Nation car is up front, which is definitely odd, but Talladega is one of those tracks that the underdog can win. Everyone, as long as you're in the pack, you have a shot. Brandon's dicing up there on the high line. You can see his rookie stripes there, moving from the low line to the high line. Looks like he's pushing the leader forward, trying to break away from the pack. We'll have to do some work in order to catch him up. Oh, looks like he forced Jimmy Johnson up top. That'll put Brandon to the point. And once we get by McMurray, we may have a top 10 spot here, as long as Paul Menard plays nice. Paul's going under the 38. We have Truex still behind us, sticking to the bottom, so we've got good push behind. Let's see if we can get a twofer. Let's get under the 27, follow Kane through the bottom, and all of a sudden, we go from a top 10 to a top 5 in one corner, and that's as fast as it happens at Talladega. Clear off, we can use up all the racetrack, all the momentum we possibly can. Oh, looks like Brandon's going back and forth blocking Kyle Busch. We've got a great run on Casey Kane. Brandon's going to ride the bottom, and we will follow Kyle Busch through. Sort of looking to the high line. The car sort of drifted up top. I had to pull the car down, but we are clear. A 3-car breakaway. It looks like Kyle is trying to replicate every move Brandon's making. What Brandon's trying to do is drop down to the bottom when I do, so I can get the run off of Brandon and get around the 18. But looks like the 18 is tucked up close enough that any run that I have will be fizzled out. Third certainly isn't bad. We're not even halfway through this race yet. It's just sort of biding our time. And right here we go. We got to the bottom, helped me out. We're around Kyle Busch, and now we're going to stay as close to the back bumper, the 24, as we can and see if we can ride this thing out. A lot of pressure still behind us. We are definitely not out of the woods yet. If Almirola gets a good run, he can get under me and shuffle me back 20, 30 spots easily in a matter of laps. So we don't want to give up the bottom if we can help it. Here we come under the flag stand, 1 and 2, nice and tight in formation. We've sort of gapped them a little bit. If we can keep this momentum going, we might be able to break away from the cars running side by side, which can help keep me out of trouble if I do get shuffled. Down the backstretch, we'll say single file. If I can get to his rear bumper, I can give him a little push as long as we're moving in a straight line to help us both out, because it looks like the cars behind me definitely want to give me a push. But the AI sort of refrains from that sort of thing unless you're on a short track or someplace where they really want to go. But plate tracks, they're kind of conservative here. Another lap in the books. We go by the mile-long grandstands here on the front stretch of Talladega, and they're 3 wide behind us. We're essentially in no man's land here. Definitely, if Brandon wasn't with me and I wasn't with him, and we had this lead, then Trevor Bayne in that 21, or I'm sorry, Ryan Blaney. I'm used to a few years ago. But the 21 can definitely gain a run and get by us. Looks like he's staying single file as much as he can, but it looks like, is that the Bush brothers down there? No, that's Ryan Newman. Newman is making his charge up front. Not known for being a plate racer. Ryan Newman's usually on his lid more than he's on his tires when it comes to plate racing. But he's definitely giving us all we can handle here. Looks like, okay, Kyle was trying to make a move under that 31, but to no avail. Ryan Newman with the closing the door. No word on the spotter on how many laps to go. I'm just focused on essentially what's in my mirror, which, okay, Newman had the spot. I'm going to concede it. There's really no reason to pinch him off. With these cars running single file in this first group, I should be able to find a spot fairly quickly, I'm hoping, especially with Ryan Newman on the high line now. The bottom is tightening up, so we need to get Ryan Newman. Oh, Brad with the hard charge to put us 3 wide up top. All right, so now I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. It's going to be tougher to find a lane down below 2 cars than it was just for 1. Stenhouse almost in my door. I'm riding the 43's fender as tight as I can to sort of pull him back and use that side draft to my advantage. Getting a pull off Brad. It's all about momentum now and not losing any speed, even though I'm riding up here alone, up top 3 wide. It's not a place I want to be in, that is for sure. I just need one of these cars to cut me a break. But in the closing laps of Talladega, it is not to be. I sort of rolled out just a little bit to try to squeeze under Stenhouse, but I couldn't do it. Stenhouse gets forced up top to the middle lane, which forces me up top 3 wide. But we've got a run. We've got Stenhouse cleared, and now we're back under Austin. And we can get the 26 clear. No, the 26 is not clear. We have to concede that spot. Let's follow the 3 as best we can. We're clear to the bottom. And now we're sort of, able to ride. Panic mode is over. We're able to just stick to this bottom. We'll pass Eric Almirola and Ryan Newman once more and set our sights on the lead, which Brandon is still playing both sides of the draft. Both the inside and the outside line, trying to keep them as balanced as he can. He doesn't want to ride in one line and give them all of the advantage. Oh, this 3 wide, I'm loving it right here. Hey, Newman, that's what you get, boy. Forced me to the outside. Now Ryan Newman is up top 3 wide, and we've got Jeffrey Earnhardt in the mix for the lead. Oh, no, wow. Okay, so Austin Dillon checked up just a little bit. We touched him just a tad. No worse for the wear, though. I don't have the momentum to get under him in this turn, but we'll set him up for the back straightaway. Brandon with that high entry into turn 1 and then cutting to the bottom to sort of play the drafting lanes. We don't want to push up too much with Earnhardt up there. Brandon's tucking down the yellow line, and there goes Ryan Blaney all the way to the bottom, and you can see the snaking effect. That was really prevalent in the early 90s whenever a car would break away and they would duck to the bottom, and every car in line would follow them down to the bottom and then follow them up top. It's like a moving snake. All right, let's go under the 3. We've got Austin side by side, put them 3 wide. Let's set our sights on Kurt. We can go to the bottom. Probably that would have been a little shady. The left side tires were under the yellow line. That's NASCAR's court. Call. The ball's in NASCAR's court is what I was thinking of. But we are back to second. All right, so essentially we're back to exactly where we were. And let's give Brandon a little shove down the back straightaway. Try to gap these guys as much as we can. I'll sort of protect the bottom, keep him out front if need be, and hope that I don't get shuffled back once more by a car ducking to the bottom. Austin is definitely looking, though. The third place car is changing with the lines. The lines will move up. 2 laps to go already. I had no clue we were this far into the race, so we have to mind our P's and Q's for the next 3 miles or so, or 5 miles or so, and maybe we can come out with a win. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, Austin's going to the bottom. I'm trying to block Austin, and then Brandon is moving down to sort of stay in line with me. It's kind of hairy down that back straightaway. Coming to the white flag, though. 1 lap to go coming up, and this is the most tense lap in all of motorsports, the last lap at Talladega, when your top 25 are all within a second of each other, and 1 false move and you cost yourself a top 10, a top 20, or even crash. 1 more lap to go, 2.66 miles around Talladega, and it looks like we have clear racetrack behind us. It doesn't look like Austin can really catch up, so it's just about if I want to try to pass Brandon or what's going to happen here. I don't have the run to get him here. I was too far back, it seems, but maybe we can get him going into the tri-oval. That is where most of the last lap passes of Talladega are. Austin with a big run. He is inside. I'm going to have to pin him down. Pin him down as best I can. Keep high. We're coming down to the checkered flag, and I've got to run. Let's go to the top. All right, I've got him in the middle lane. Oh, we're in a wreck. Ow! Across the line, where are we going to finish? I don't know who won that race. We crashed across the line. Hopefully we got a top 10 out of it. There's Brandon there. I hope I didn't screw his race. We're going to have to see. Okay, I came in 7th. I guess not bad in the worst of first, but we have a crashed race car because of it. I wonder, did Austin come up into me or did I come down on him? I tell you, that tri-oval is really, really sketchy. Let's take a look at this last lap here. Yeah, we had a gap. We had an amazing gap going into turn 1, running 1 and 2. It looked like Austin didn't have anything for us. Maybe that bottom line got organized. Maybe Tony Stewart got up there and really started pushing. I mean, those cars behind us looked really disorganized. And we had a gap. How did Austin Dillon catch us going into turn 3 is what I want to know. Yeah, Stewart was right on him, and when we moved up together, that just sort of opened the door for Austin. Oh, and Austin comes up and door slams me a bit. Brandon was doing his best to try to give me the run, and then right here, I just get a massive pull off of the 3. We come around. That would have been, oh, Austin with the touch, and into the wall I go, sliding through. That could have been a lot bigger than it was. It just looked like me involved. But I don't know how Brandon fared. I hope he still won the race. I'm going to have to check that out. Oh, Brandon's sideways right there. Yeah, he still won. Oh, wow. So he got in the fence. Oh, into the wall. 183 bouncing off the wall. There was a moment he was inside the wall, but, you know, video games. And there was the margin of victory. So Brandon slides across the line at 169 miles an hour, beating Austin Dillon. And that, I think, is going to do it for this episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. Ladies and gentlemen, next week we are going to the complete opposite. We're going to Martinsville, a half-mile short track. Should be a lot of fun, but that's going to do it for me in this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold, and I will see you in the next NASCAR Racing 2003 season video. Take care.